I'd like to start by talking to you about what I consider one of the most intriguing and difficult to understand surface issues. Because people struggle with relational issues a lot, sometimes they don't understand how something called codependency factors into their relationship problems. So let me explain what on earth codependency is, why we become codependent, and what does that look like in the average life. So codependency results out of someone who has lived with another person, maybe their parents, could be during a marriage, but they lived with someone who was what I call emotionally unavailable. So instead of their parents or their spouse voluntarily meeting their needs for, let's say as a child, attention, love, respect, comfort, encouragement, support, security, the child felt like they had to pull that out of them. They had to try to get love and attention and comfort and security. So they grew up with this unhealthy pattern of trying to get their needs met through somebody who was emotionally unavailable. And then when they get married, when they have relationships, they are attracted to someone who also is emotionally unavailable. They may be addicted. Maybe their parents were addicted to alcohol. They may have been depressed or gone or just selfish. But for whatever reason, the person they're attracted to has that same emotional unavailability. So then it happens all over again. Now in their current relationship, they're trying to get the other person to do the right thing, to stop drinking, to stop making bad choices. And they continually are trying, I would say they are sweating their loved one's issues more than their loved one is. So if their loved one is out partying or having a good time or doing whatever it is that they're doing that's dysfunctional, the good guy, you, me, we're the ones who want them to make good decisions, who want them to do the right thing. So we lose sleep. We're sweating it. We're staying up at night. That's how you can tell you're engaged. You are the codependent one, if that hasn't become clear, is that we are feeling the pain of that other person's choices more than they are. That's how you know you're engaged in it. So let me give you an example. I can think of someone in the early days when I was first understanding this pattern. It was a mom. She was a single mom, had one child, and her son was beginning to get involved in some really bad choices. He was 14 years old, and he stole a bicycle. So he was arrested. He was detained, and the mom, her tender heart for her son, her only child, caused her to go down to the judge's office and to cry, literally cry and beg for that judge to go easy on her son. And you know what? He did. He listened and he let him off. A couple years passed. The next thing happened when he was about 16, he stole a truck. And again, he was arrested. Again, they were going to send him to juvenile detention. He would have been locked away for a while. But the mom went down to that judge again and asked, is there any way you can have mercy on him, let him off? He's my only son, blah, blah, blah. The judge let him off, which is kind of surprising, but he did. When I met her, he had turned 18, he'd taken a gun, he'd broken into a liquor store, and he'd been arrested for breaking and entering, and now he's an 18. He's tried as an adult, and she can't get him off. And I remember thinking how sad, because maybe if she'd allowed him to suffer the consequences of his behavior when he was 14 or even when he was 16, maybe he would have learned the lesson that he so desperately needed, but it was too late. And this lady that I knew, she had no clue that she was part of the problem. But codependency will cause us to prop up the people we love. It'll cause us to enable, is the word they use in recovery language, the people we love to continue making bad choices. Why? Because we rescue them, we pay their bills, we bail them out of jail, we solve their problems, and then they don't have to suffer the consequences of their own choices. And I'll tell you this, I learned this a long time ago. There's a Bible verse in Galatians. It says, don't be deceived. God will not be mocked. Whatever a person sows, that is what they will reap. So that's a biblical principle. God knows humans' hearts, and he knows what we need to change is painful consequences. When we stop our loved one from experiencing painful consequences, they don't learn, and they have to do it again. And as long as we are bailing them out and rescuing them, they will never learn. And this could go on for years, even decades. That is what codependency looks like. You may be thinking, but what if the person that I love that's driving me crazy is not my spouse, but my adult child, my teenage child? That's exactly what we're going to talk about in the next video that I'm going to post.